This is one of my favorite ways to elevate the brand experience for your product, embossing. The embossing technique involves a method of creating patterns of texture on a piece of paper by applying pressure to create that 3D effect. This is commonly seen in luxury designer bags, in book covers, and things that truly just make you feel like, that feels a little expensive. You're gonna see this is one of my favorite bags that I got from Prana. A color print right here. If you look closely, there is a 3D effect of the Prada logo, once again behind the much smaller logo. It's a great and easy way to create a much premium feeling for your packaging that doesn't really cost that much more money. There are several advantages to using embossing technique. One is that it gives you a lot more creative freedom. Typically, when you want texture on paper, there's two ways to go about it. You can either buy a piece of paper that already has pre-existing texture, or you can just buy a blank piece of paper and create that pattern by yourself. Just like in this product bag right here, there is not a single roll of paper out there that already has the Prada logo on it with the embossing technique or the embossing texture. But by applying this on your own, you can create an extra layer of texture. So on this product bag, it comes with some kind of marks that looks like leather. But on top of that leather-like texture, there is that logo embossing that you can create. So it gives you a lot more flexibility to create the design that you want onto the paper surface. The second reason why I love the embossing technique is that instead of just having visuals on the packaging, it creates a tactile sensation, something that you can brush your finger across and feel the difference. The third reason why I love this and why a lot of luxury brands like to use this is that by using the embossing technique, it allows you to print on top of the paper and then create the embossing effect. If you were to buy a piece of paper that already has texture on it, it sometimes creates complexity for printing on top of it because of uneven surfaces. But if you're getting a plain piece of paper and then creating the embossing effect, it just gives you so much more clear print compared to trying to print the ink on top of uneven surfaces. Creating an embossed packaging comes down to 5 steps. The first step is to create the embossed design, so this will come from your digital softwares. The second part comes into creating the embossing tools, so that is including the print plate. The third step is preparing all the materials that are required to create the final packaging. The fourth step is printing and embossing, and lastly, post-processing. The last step is just post-production processing. That will mean adding any accessories like the drawstring on this bag, or if there's any surface finishing that you need to apply, such as creating a matte effect or a glossy effect. And in just 5 different steps, you can create your own embossed packaging.